Sure, I'll give her the message as soon as she gets in. Thanks for calling the Bijou. Bye. Hi, welcome to the Bijou. What show would you like to see?
2 for first impressions at 7 o'clock, please.
2 adults for first impressions at 7 o'clock.
Right.
That'll be $12.
Okay. All I have is a 50.
Okay.
Smallest I have.
All right, here you are. That's 2 adults, first impressions at 7 o'clock, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 30, and 50. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Can you tell me what time the show ends?
Sure. 8:51.
Great.
Thanks.
Oh, and can you tell me at what time you're going to start seating?
20 minutes prior to the show time.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, and are you expecting a sellout?
Let's see. No, it looks like there's plenty of seating available.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Boy, did you see that? Girl's terrific.
I'll say, talk about a first impression. She was prepared for everything.
Yeah. Surprised you didn't ask her shoe size.
7.5.
But you're right, though. And that's the key for any of you out there who are assigned to the box office. Be prepared
To make a good first impression.
That was my line.
What's your point? Whether in person or on the phone, as a box office attendant, you're the customer's first contact with the theater. And you know what they say, you only get one chance to make a good first impression.
That's right, and what you do and say not only sets the tone for the customer's movie-going experience, it also establishes the professional and courteous service that they can expect from the rest of your theater's team. From the concession stand and ushers, right up to the projection booth.
And as you just saw, it's not enough to just know the showtimes and ticket prices. You should also be familiar with the film ratings, running times, and depending on the policy of your particular theater, the movie's storyline as well.
But regardless of which theater you're working for, your job begins with opening and setting up the box office.
As a box office attendant, you'll be responsible for all the cash you're given at the beginning of your shift. And remember, that cash must balance against all receipts and transactions during your shift. This includes tickets, passes, and gift certificates as well. You're responsible for them just as you are for the cash in the drawer.
When setting up the box office, make sure your selling station is clean and well organized. The appearance of your surroundings says as much about you and the theater as your own appearance. Remember, first impressions really do count.
Make sure that all information is correct and readily accessible. Check the newspaper ads and your theater's phone recording to confirm that showtimes, ratings, and hours of operation are correct for that day. And keep a show schedule nearby to refer to when questions arise.
But before opening the box office, check with your manager to make sure that the rest of the theater is ready to open as well.
Then, when given the okay, you're ready to greet the public. Now, the first thing you want to do is...
Wait a second. Why don't we just go back and check how our attendant did here just a couple of minutes ago? You know, kind of like an instant replay.
You would want to do that. Sports fan. Ooh, now here's a scary-looking character.
Oh, that's real nice.
Isn't it though? Look, she drops what she's doing and immediately makes eye contact.
And for many patrons, this may very well be their first impression of you and the theater.
Hi, welcome to the Bijou. What show would you like to see?
Perfect. I'd give her an Oscar.
Yeah, but there's no category for that. Sorry. Well, anyway, look at the excellent eye contact she has to go along with that already great smile. And notice how she repeats the transaction. Very impressive.
2 adults for first impressions at 7 o'clock. That'll be $12.
Okay. All I have is a 50. Now, wait. Stop the action right here. Now, did you see what she just did? She was brilliant.
Yeah. What were you trying to pull?
Nothing. But you never know when someone might try to slip you a counterfeit bill. Although unlikely, it does happen.
So whenever you receive a bill larger than a 20, examine it quickly and discreetly to make sure it's not counterfeit.
Now, generally, any bill dated after 1990 will have a metallic strip woven into the bill, much like this one. And for your older bills, use your theater's procedure for counterfeit protection. But should you ever have any doubts, politely excuse yourself and call your manager immediately.
That said, be aware that people often allow themselves limited time to purchase their ticket and get into the auditorium, so keep the line moving quickly at all times.
Remember, your ability to handle a transaction will drive the speed of the transaction, but never sacrifice accuracy and your pleasant manner simply for the sake of completing the transaction quickly.
And one way to assure that accuracy is to follow the example set by our attendant. Notice how she counts back the change due.
Exactly, and all the while leaving the money visible until she completes the transaction by saying,
Enjoy the show.
"Thank you."
Okay, this routine was pretty simple, right?
Hey, who are you calling simple?
Now here's a look at some different situations that you're sure to encounter.
Now, every theater has a different policy regarding seniors. While some ask for identification, others give the customer the benefit of the doubt when asking for a senior discount. So, check with your manager for the theater's policy just to be sure.
Hi, welcome to the Bijou. What show would you like to see?
2 for First Impressions at 7.
2 seniors for first impressions at 7 o'clock.
Excuse me, miss. We're hardly seniors.
Ooh, bad idea.
Yeah, tough break. She was doing so well.
Obviously, everything isn't as it appears. And even if it is, it's not a good idea to make assumptions. When it comes to the issue of age, some people can be pretty sensitive.
Conversely, if the transaction is with a child or a teenager unaccompanied by a parent that wants to buy a ticket for an R-rated film, always ask them for some type of ID to prove their age. And in the case of an NC-17 rated film, they must be 18 to attend.
When in doubt, ask for an ID, but be careful not to embarrass the person. Always be positive and smile.
I'm sorry, this film is rated R and you have to be at least 17. Is there something else you'd like to see today?
While at times it may seem like you and other box office attendants are all alone out front, it's important to remember that teamwork is just as important here as it is in other areas of the theater. And your team is counting on you to keep them informed, whether it's dealing with patrons with special needs or advising them of potential sellouts. And in the case of a sellout, you don't have to lose the sale. Recommend another show or showtime.
Now, so far, all the transactions that we've discussed have been ones involving cash. But as a box office attendant, you'll also be responsible for passes, traveler's checks, refunds and exchanges, and in some cases, credit cards as well. So it's important that you check with your manager about your theater's procedures for each of these transactions and know how to handle them. And while you should treat every patron as a VIP, this is especially true with patrons presenting passes. Now, passes can represent a complimentary gift or serve as an apology issued by the theater to a patron that may have had a bad experience on a previous visit. If this experience is bad, you can rest assured they won't be back again. In most instances, a full refund for tickets purchased is given within the first 15 to 30 minutes of a show. Cash refunds require your manager's approval, but make sure you get the ticket back from the customer and void it. Remember, refunded tickets can't be resold. They must be kept and accounted for at the end of your shift, along with the cash, traveler's checks, and credit card receipts. And remember, you're the one responsible for the cash in your drawer, and that cash must balance with your sales and receipts.
Because the theater business is primarily a cash handling business, you're going to be highly exposed in the box office. And after a while, all that cash may feel like monopoly money, but it's not. So be aware of your surroundings. Keep all money, reports, and for that matter, any other clutter out of view of the public. Make frequent money drops as well, and never count money in public view. In addition, no one other than the cashier or the theater manager is allowed in the box office, so keep the door locked at all times. And if there appears to be someone loitering in the vicinity of the box office, advise your manager immediately. Remember, your #1 job as a box office attendant is to be prepared to make a good first impression.